I want to say one more thing about Bam, guys. He was, like, in a way reminds me a lot of Pacquiao. But Bam reminds me a little of Pacquiao, too, in the sense that when Pacquiao was put up against, not Morales gave him a good fight, but you put him in with Barrera at a time where Barrera was still good. And he was so twitchy that Barrera had nothing for him, right? And that's what it looks like when you put Bam in with Estrada. Like when you put Bam in with a guy who's past it, but was once great and maybe still has something in the tank, Bam's twitchies are so much that guy has nothing for him. And that says...
Stylistically, I know I'm going off on Bam because I'm a big fan. But, I think stylistically, he may be one of the most difficult guy in the world to fight, other than Crawford. He's a southpaw. He's got great footwork. He's got good defense. He's got a chin. He's got a heart. He's mentally focused. You mentioned the combination punching champ. He hits the head, the body, everything. I mean, the first knockdown when he knocked down Estrada, uppercut, 1-2, bang. It was perfect, right on the money. Like the champ says, like playing.
If we don't do it soon, we're probably going to miss the boat. I mean, when we talked about the Inoue fight a year ago, Bam was at 115 pounds. He'd just come up from 112. It looked like a bridge too far, a step too far. Being at 118 and being one division away makes it much more realistic, but that was his first.
I feel like I'm capable of beating anybody that the team puts in front of me. Money's very important, but legacy is also important as well. I feel like I can't retire without fighting anyway, so I need to get that fight before I do retire and, of course, beat him and make them.
Boxing's lower weight classes are currently paralyzed by a terrifying reality. There is a 26-year-old in San Antonio who refuses to stop winning.
When you go out to the ring, do you even pay attention to the whole pound-for-pound label? Does it add a little bit of pressure to show out in the ring?
I think so. Now it does. Back then, before I was on the list, I really didn't care about it. But yeah, after I beat Sonny Edwards, I think I became number 10. And then ever since then, I just kept moving my way up. So now being number 4, I feel like it's bragging rights, but at the same time, it's also a lot of pressure that people are expecting, great performances from you. But I mean, that's what I do every time I step in.
Jesse Bam Rodriguez isn't just a champion, he is a wrecking ball that has systematically dismantled every legend, gatekeeper, and trash talker placed in front of him. After a brutal, cold-blooded knockout of Antonio Vargas to capture a world title in his 3rd weight class, the rest of the sport is left with one burning question. Is Naoya the Monster Inoue finally looking at his own expiration date? To understand why the entire sport is whispering his name, you have to look past the gold belts and see the cold, calculated violence that defines his rise.
Bam Rodriguez, this is his Canelo Crawford. I think about it. It's like Canelo beats Crawford. He was the favorite to beat Crawford. Even I unwisely picked him to beat Crawford. And it's like he's the bigger name, he's the bigger guy, but he's not really that much bigger. Both of their reaches clock in at 67 inches. Inoue's an inch taller, but that's about it. Inoue won his first world title at 108 pounds. Bam Rodriguez won his first title at 112, I believe. Maybe even 115 and then dropped back down to 112. So there's really not that much of a size difference. But I think Rodriguez, even though he's getting touched up in this fight, I think has more defensive maneuvers and capabilities in a way. Who again, is part of, now Inoue's smart and he's versatile and he can shoulder roll and he can high guard it and he can counter and he can lead and he's an amazing combination, all these things. But his real calling card is his talent, his speed, power combination and reflexes, foot speed, that kind of thing. I think Bam can figure him out. I think Bam, who again got touched against Vargas pretty often, I don't think he starts nearly as fast against Inoue as he did against Vargas. I think he fights a lot more patient fight.
The story didn't start in the bright lights of a main event. For years, Bam was just the quiet kid from San Antonio, perpetually operating in the shadow of his older brother, world champion Joshua Franco. While casual fans looked at Franco, the boxing world's inner circle noticed something strange about the younger brother. He wasn't just another prospect, he was a student of the game who moved with an eerie, rhythmic precision. Early doubters whispered that his style was too aesthetic, that he lacked the raw, bone crushing power needed to survive the elite ranks. They called him a points fighter, a flashy kid with pillow fists.
Well, if I'm really honest, we probably passed on Bam in the very early stages. Robert will probably tell you. I mean, Robert, I have to give a shout out to Kevin Rooney as well. And Robert, that's a good manager that isn't going to be denied, because Robert came to us with a light flyweight called Jesse Rodriguez, and he said, look, I've got this kid, he's unbelievably special. And Kevin is a boxing guy through and through. I am as well, but probably Kevin even more so. And he come to us, he said, look, Robert knows his fighters. What could, I'm like, Kev, we really don't need a light flyweight. You know, we got Chocolatito at the time. We were working with Estrada, Rungvisai. He's got like, just, you know, and it was like, look, give him a shot, give him a shot. And then I think the first one was Fresno, and he looked really good. And then it was just on. And then to be honest with you, like the world title, he was co-main event on that card. And he stepped up 2 divisions on a week's notice to fight Quadras, to beat him to become world champion. So I think since then, we've done an incredible job. But originally, you know, we were kind of, thank God, bullied into it by Robert Garcia, because we believe in his eye and he knows talent. So when he tells you you've got a very, very special young fighter, we believed him. But they still took that fight. If they hadn't taken that fight at a week's notice and stepped up 2 divisions, I don't think we'd be here today. Certainly not as quickly. So it's little moments like that where you have to take the leap of faith that you believe in someone. And since then, I mean, you know, even when he beat Quadras, we knew he was special. I didn't know he was this special. And every time, and what he said at the press conference this week was just so true. It's probably 50% of his capabilities is what you're seeing right now. And at 26 years of age, that is
They were all dead wrong. Everything shifted in February 2022. The boxing world was stunned when an undefeated, unproven Bam Rodriguez stepped in on less than a week's notice to face Carlos Quadras. He wasn't just accepting a fight, he was jumping up to 115 pounds to challenge a battle-tested Mexican veteran who had seen every trick in the book. Quadras looked at the 22-year-old and laughed, convinced the kid was a sacrificial lamb. By the time the final bell rang, the prospect label had been incinerated. Bam used masterful pivots to blind Quadras, landing uppercuts that defied physics and cruising to a unanimous decision. He became the youngest champion in the sport overnight, and the fear began to set in.
Eddie, tremendous performance. I mean, a replacement fighter, the youngest world champion of all right now. What did you make of tonight?
Unbelievable. I mean, you know, in the first round, I thought, oh, he's just too small. And, you know, the angles, people talking about, you know, almost like Lomachenko-esque in there, but with a bit more Mexican flavour, and just a brilliant performance. For someone so young to go in against someone 2 divisions higher, so experienced, so strong. You know, he may beat everybody in that division. And, you know, he said before this fight that if he won the world title, he'd vacate and move back to 108. I don't see that happening. No. You know, I don't see, you know, you may make him a favourite against all of them. Chocolatito, Rungvisai, Estrada. I love the Estrada fight. I think that's a brilliant fight for him. And, you know, sometimes you just got to roll with it when you're as good as that kid and see what you can.
But elite fighters aren't built on easy wins. They are forged in fire. 4 months later, Bam signed to fight the scariest man in the division, Srisaket Sor Rungvisai. This was a man who had famously shattered the aura of the legendary Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Rungvisai's strategy was simple: walk through the kid's fire and break his spirit with raw, crushing Thai power. When the cage door closed, however, it was Rungvisai who looked like an amateur. Bam didn't run. He stayed in the pocket, weaving through heavy leather and systematically punishing the veteran until the referee was forced to intervene. He had stopped a man who wasn't supposed to be stoppable. The path, however, hit a violent snag in 2023. While securing a title in a second division against Christian Gonzalez, Bam suffered a gruesome injury, a broken jaw that turned the ring into a nightmare. He fought through 12 rounds of pure, white-hot agony, refusing to let the belt slip away. But because he didn't secure a highlight reel finish, the critics crawled out of the woodwork. They called him basic. They called him overhyped. And waiting in the wings was the loudest mouth in the sport, Sonny Edwards. The undefeated British IBF champion spent months mocking Bam's intelligence, claiming he was a rudimentary fighter who lacked the defensive IQ to survive the championship rounds.
You're calling me a clown. Badges all on your bucket hat and you wear oversized shoes. You're a red nose and a cartwheel away from joining the circus. You
Orlando,
shut up,
you
got a broken jaw, yeah? It's wired shut. So that's it. Keep your mouth quiet. I'm going to take your belt on Saturday. But don't be doing all this. I don't know who I am. The only reason why I've not been terrorizing you from the start is because you would have pulled out, because you are a little with a fragile ego. So shut the up.
Yeah, you.
Quiet. Silence, man.
I ain't even paying attention.
Snack fight is question marks on all of you. Big question mark on you. But you think, guess what? I don't care. Because I beat it with my mind, not my body. So you can put anything in your system. I don't care. We know you know how to get it out. Snack fighters, we all know what that means when you see that logo on someone's shorts. We know exactly what that means.
Is this an effort to get under his skin before the fight, or just you being Sonny Edwards?
Nah, man, I'm sober. It's fight week.
When they finally met, Edwards learned exactly what happens when you mistake composure for simplicity. For 8 rounds, Edwards tried to dance, but Bam cut off the ring like a predator stalking prey. In the 9th, the trash talk ended. Bam landed a perfect calculated counter left that sent the defensive wizard face first into the canvas, shattering his orbital bone and ending the debate instantly. Bam wasn't just winning, he was punishing people for speaking his name.
Yo, you the man, bro. Boy. Good shit. Congrats. You the man, bro. Congratulations. Thank you. Awesome job. Good shit. What up, bro? Good stuff. Good stuff. What up, coach? Nice little cut. That's a nice little cut. It's much better watching his mouth side doing.
Even the legends weren't safe. By mid-2024, Bam moved back up to face the lineal king, Juan Francisco Estrada. This was supposed to be the fight where the young buck met his match against a Hall of Fame veteran. When Estrada dropped Bam in the 6th round, the arena erupted, thinking the Bam problem had finally been solved. It was the only time in his career he had ever tasted the floor. He didn't just get up, he got angry. Less than a round later, Bam delivered a liver shot so precise and so devastating that Estrada simply folded. The legend was gone, and the new king had arrived.
How were you able to quickly shake off that first knockdown that you had, and how were you able to, what were you able to tap into in order to change any tactical positions against them in order to win the fight?
Yeah, it was just a flash knockdown. I knew right away. I mean, I already knew when I was going down that it was a flash. I was already smiling, I think, and then I just got back up and stuck to the game plan. I just didn't stick to the game plan, and I got caught with a good shot. That's what happens. These are championship fights, so I gotta stay at the top of my game. It's just a learning experience.
Now, the problem has moved to 118 pounds. In his June 2026 title fight against Antonio Vargas, Bam faced a new set of challenges: hand speed and unconventional volume. For the first 5 rounds, Vargas made it look like a war, landing clean shots and keeping the distance. It was the most vulnerable Bam had looked in years. But in boxing, you don't beat a genius by being fast. You beat them by being lucky, and Vargas was running out of luck. Bam began hunting the body, taking deeper, tighter angles until he finally cornered Vargas in the 6th. A single, straight left hand flatlined him, ending the night and proving that his power doesn't just travel, it grows.
You were touched a little bit, compared to the last few fights. So did you feel his power?
I did. He had a bit more power than I expected, but I was expecting that moving up to 118, a different weight class, more weight, bigger opponent. So I knew what I was going inside the ring, and I knew what to expect, so it was nothing out of the ordinary, but I did feel it.
Hey, Bam, congrats. Again, another division, another belt. Great performance, man. I know we're all playing matchmaker, so I'll tap the brakes on that a little bit. There was a local legend in the building today, a little guy who essentially set the stage for you guys. Michael Carbajal was here, and I talked to him, and he told me how proud he was of you. How does that feel, man, with somebody who's got a silver medal and the legacy that he's had, to say that he's here to see you and how proud he is of you to do what you're doing, not just in the industry, but specifically here in Phoenix?
Yeah, I think it's badass. I mean, Carbajal, he's a legend, especially in the smaller weight classes. He has some great fights. So the fact that he came here just to see me means a lot to me, and I'm glad that I was able to put on a good show for him.
Jesse, great fight tonight.
Thank you.
So you put down Vargas the first time, right? The next time when you hit him with the straight left, did you know that was going to be it, or did you think he was going to get back up based on the first one?
I knew that was it. I think he laid flat on his back, and that's kind of when I thought to myself that was it. And then I think the ref got to maybe like 7, and I knew that he wasn't getting up.
Jesse Rodriguez is now staring down the mountain. With 3 weight classes conquered, he is currently the most terrifying equation in boxing. Eddie Hearn and the Matchroom team are pushing hard, and the rumors are deafening. They are hunting the Inoue family. Whether it starts with Takuma or goes straight to the pound-for-pound king, Naoya, the monster Inoue, the trajectory is clear. The sport has spent years wondering who could possibly challenge the undisputed best in the world. We might have found our answer. Now, we have to see if the monster is ready to be hunted. Do you think anyone can stop him before he reaches the top of the mountain? Let us know your thoughts below and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of the BAM problem.